Welcome to Tint Wisdom number 20. If this is your first time watching, my name's Eric. We do this every single Tuesday and now every single Thursday as well, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And the idea is, sharing best practices, tips, tricks, ways that you can improve your window film business. It is obviously a live stream, so we do encourage obviously any comments, questions, and I'll be checking throughout the live stream for any questions and so on. So I'm just going to give it a minute for everybody to get into the chat and get a confirmation that everyone can hear me, everyone can see me, and then we'll dive into today's topics. So I'm just going to pull up the chat now, and then we're going to get going. So if you're in the chat, please say hello. Please maybe give me like a thumbs up or say something to let me know that you can hear and see me okay. And then we'll jump into today's topic. Today's topic is going to be related to Tint Wiz. It's a feature that I find incredibly valuable, and I want to walk you through it, show you how to use it, because it's a feature that you set up once and it takes maybe 2 to 3 minutes to set it up. It's a feature that we can actually set up for you. And once you set that up, once you invest that maybe 3-4 minutes into that setup, it is going to save you 10, 15, 20 minutes every single day. It's a huge efficiency benefit. So I'm excited to show you that feature. And then there is a new little feature that popped up this week. So I just want to point it out in case you missed it. So we're going to dive in. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining. Dan, Jamie, Daniel, Vinny, Jamie, thank you. And for everybody else who's in here as well, it doesn't show me everybody's name, but when it does show me, I will, shout you out because I appreciate you being in here. And thank you, Jamie, for saying it sounds perfect. As you can see, we have a new mic right over here. I was using a little lapel mic previously, and I just think this is going to work out better. It gives me some movement and so on. So hopefully the audio is improving every single week between the Tint Wisdoms and after. It's a huge task for me to just see how can I improve the audio from one week to another. So I hope it's getting better and better, and I definitely appreciate everybody's feedback. And then before I jump into the quotes for today, I just want to mention, if you haven't seen last Thursday's video, we did an interview with Harry Rahman from Veloce Innovations, and it's a really great interview. It's on our Facebook page. It'll be up on our YouTube tonight. It's also in the Apple podcast store, so you can stream it. And just great interview. I'm really enjoying. He was our second interview, and then the day after tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to be interviewing Marissa Ashley from ExoShield. And ExoShield is a company that kind of just recently popped on my radar. If you're in the Window Film Revolution group, you've seen some posts from Marissa, and there's just some things that stood out about the product, but mainly about the culture. And then I noticed some things between the interaction of her dealers and her, and all positive stuff, but it just all kind of built some questions in my mind. So I thought it would be a good time to see what she's about, see what the company's about, the product's about, and see, if there's something there that could benefit you as a dealer, and, a potential add-on. And as far as I know about the product, it's a exterior clear windshield skin meant to protect windshields. The idea is, it used to be really cheap to replace a windshield. Now with all the driver assist sensors and so on, it can be upwards of $1,500 and so on, plus recalibration of vital sensors that could mean the difference, life and death potentially if they were to fail, or not be as accurate as they might have been from OEM. So the idea is, by putting this film on here, you're going to strengthen the glass and protect against rock chips and so on, and hopefully avoid needing to repair or replace the windshield. And with that said, that was not a sales pitch. I have no affiliation with the company. I actually invited Marissa on just because, like I said, I saw her post. I saw the interaction between some of her dealers and her, and I have a lot of questions for her. I hope, if you have any questions, put them in the comments now, put them in the comments on Thursday, and we'll ask them for her. But, the idea with the Thursday interviews, I'm always just looking for people who I think will be interesting to hear from, and kind of, bridge that. Oh, there goes the mic. and bridge that gap between the manufacturers, other dealers, everybody in the industry, so that in a long format, we're able to sit down and talk, answer any questions, hear them out, more than just seeing a post or seeing a video, a quick video or whatnot, and, and go from there. So I think quite a few people are in here, and if I didn't break the mic, you should still hopefully hear me okay. So we can dive into today's quotes, and then we'll dive into some Facebook posts. There's only maybe 4 or 5, and then I want to show you this feature on Tint Wiz, and we'll go from there. And it's actually a feature that I'm kind of excited because you're going to be able to use it during this video, which adds kind of more fun dynamic to this live stream. So let's get past this stuff so I can show you that feature. And howdy, Chris and Travis, Patrick, thank you for joining. David. All right, so I'm going to pull up these quotes. Now there's three quotes for today, and the first one explains the next 2 because let me just get into it. So the quote is, "People often say motivation doesn't last. Neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily." And it's by Zig Ziglar. So, kind of funny, but really true. So, you can't expect to be, fill yourself with motivation just for one day. It's something that you want to maybe remind yourself every day and throughout the day and so on. No, motivation works. When you go to maybe like a dealer meeting and you're around fellow window film installers and you're hearing the motivational speaker and you're hearing about the products, you get that kind of like drive to like hit it hard that year. But then, as you go home and the weeks pass, it's easy to fall into kind of routines, do things the same way you've been doing them and so on. So you want to have that daily motivation. I mean, when you motivate yourself daily, when you find inspiration and so on, it actually just makes it easier for you because it makes life more pleasant. It moves you along in the process. So why not? It just, I feel like it only motivates you. Chris Queen said, "Did I say Dirk Diggler?" It definitely did sound like Dirk Diggler. I would assume maybe they're, the character was related, or I don't know. I don't know. But moving on. So next quote is, "Be pleasant until 10 in the morning, and the rest of the day will take care of itself." So this kind of, piggybacks on the first quote. And it's just like, a lot of times something happens in your day. Maybe your alarm's late. Maybe a customer calls early in the morning. Maybe your employee's not showing up or is going to be late. And, that ends up defining your day. Maybe you have somebody who's not happy with their tint. I mean, there's so many little things that can just seem like such a big problem. And if you let those things enter your day first, then those things can sometimes define your day. Oh, today, was a bad day because of this and this. But if you start your day off on the right foot, maybe those first few hours, let that be the defining point of your day. Again, these are things that are only going to benefit you. I mean, they definitely benefit everybody around you, and they'll benefit your business. But the point is, they make you feel better. And I think when you practice them mindfully, they can help carry you throughout that day and give you that better perspective, not let little hiccups in the day potentially define your day. So that's that quote. And then, because motivation is something we need daily, like bathing, I have one more quote for today. That way we can hopefully carry you over at least until Thursday. And that quote is, "Every day of our lives, we are on the verge of making those slight changes that would make all the difference." And that's by Minion McLaughlin? I don't know. But also a great quote because it's reminding you that, sometimes when making a change, it can seem like some monumental thing. You can see the whole staircase instead of just looking at it as each individual step. And, you are really just tomorrow, from right now, you can make those little steps. You can do whatever you want, make a little step in the right direction, and then another step follows and another step follows from there. And before you know it, you look down and you go, look how far I've come. So, I just think this is something to remind yourself of. It's not about, okay, next year, next month, when I get the time, when I have the money, when. There's always things you can do now. So make those little steps. They add up. They make you feel good. And it's all about feeling good, because when you feel good, everything else will fall into place. So those are the 3 quotes. If you need to remind yourself of these quotes, I just recommend you watch this video every day. And if you start the video every day with this video, you'll see those quotes and hopefully have a wonderful day and a productive, efficient day. So moving on from there, we're going to get into Facebook posts. I meant to brick this up last week. It was on my mind for the entire time leading up into the Wisdom, and then I completely forgot. But Mike Powell relaunched Shaded Outfitters. So, you know, I wanted to make it the first thing we speak about today. I love the rebrand. I love what he's doing. I love the products. Kerry from Iron Duck Designs redid the logo. I love the caricature. I love that he's behind the business. I love everything about, you know, like the positivity that he's bringing. You know, when I was first doing the Tint Wisdoms, maybe my second or third Tint Wisdom, you know, I was watching his videos before I do the Tint Wisdom, because watching him do the videos just kind of, it's a way to ease some nerves. And I was definitely nervous on those first ones. So, you know, he's an inspiration to me, and definitely check out Shaded Outfitters. They have a lot of window film related, funny, kooky, quirky window tint apparel, and then he's also always adding apparel. So check out Shaded Outfitters. And we actually have a Tint Wiz shirt on there. It's kind of like an Easter egg on the site. We're figuring out some promo codes in some ways, but basically I want to get some cool designs, or designs that I think are cool and I hope you guys like, and get them on the site so that you guys can get them. And you know, I think it's just a fun way to, you know, grow the industry. It's just like you know, just fun. I mean, when I first saw these, I saw some mugs that he had at the International Window Film Convention back in Indiana, and it was just like life is a window, just tinted, and like it just like looking through these products, it just put a smile on my face. And I saw, as people were walking by the booth, how much attention the mugs got specifically. And like, you know, the mugs, the shirts, they put a smile on your face. They can also be a fun way to mix up your uniform at work. You know, if you have some new employees, they can throw on a shirt like this and be in a tint-related, funny, interesting, you know, lighthearted shirt that's tint-related at your business. Or, of course, you can as well. So check that out. I really love it, and I think you will too. Moving on from there, window tinting business. This is Patrick. I bring him on a lot. I bring him up a lot. He's another inspiration to me. He's been doing live streaming and YouTube videos for a long time, as in years and years. He was one of those people that I discovered on YouTube before I actually interacted with on forums or in person. And anyway, he posted a beyond professional, informative, just like this perfect unboxing and tutorial of what a tint keg is. Yes, it was a tint keg that we had, you know, collaborated with Tint Keg to do the design and get it in his hands. You know, but authentically, these are amazing kegs. They save time, they're quality built, they have cool designs. You can customize it to have your company logo on there. Again, this is in no way paid. Patrick wasn't paid, I'm not paid. Like Sun Distribution, who puts these out in tin kegs, and Carrie did the design. Like, of course, everybody has the role in their respective businesses, but the point is, I bring this up because I think they're cool. I think it's way better than a spray bottle, and I think you should check it out. And just beyond the product, the way Patrick put together this demo, I just love. It's he's the Bob Vila of window film, and I hope you can go on there, leave him a comment, tell him, you know, give him your feedback, and I really want him to be as encouraged as possible to continue making videos like this, because I enjoy it that much. So just selfishly for myself, you know, I want to see more of them. So please tell them how great they are, because they are freaking great. In the comments, Travis Lee mentioned one of the shirts from Shaded Outfitters. It goes on the outside. That's obviously, he you know, said he loves that question. It is a question I'm sure that comes up a lot on automotive window film installations, because they see you shaping the film, whether it be in your videos or in your pictures, or while you're doing it at the shop, they see you shaping that film on the outside of the glass, and you know, their mind starts to go for a spin. Now, the funny thing to me is the reverse spin of that, because that's where like tinters will go on about like, gosh, could you believe the customer asked this question and so on. But how about when a customer comes in and asks you for the tint to go on the outside? So how about that? Because I know that does set a lot of tinters in mind for a spin. A lot of tinters will turn that type of job down, and you see them questioning on there, like, why would anybody want to do this? We turned it down. We thought this wasn't the right thing, and so on. And a lot of times it seems like the consensus is this happens with rental cars, so they can be pulled off the glass easier. And then I guess it's also used in like robberies and like theft and just all sorts of crimes. I guess it's just the it's like, I don't know, it's a good way to get away. Put the tint on the outside and then I guess pull the tint off and ditch the car. I don't know. But I just thought that's a funny, you know, like yin and yang right there, because, you know, just as odd as it is when a customer asks you that question, it's also odd when the customer actually makes that request. So check that video out. You can see it on YouTube, and then I'm going to be posting some clips from it on Tint Wiz. So, but check it out on YouTube. You'll watch the whole thing there. I think that's where you should watch it. And then this is Matt from Tint Stuff. So while this video, he does mention the triages at Tint Wiz. Really what this video is tint news. So that's why I think you should check it out, is for the news. He brings up a really, really, really interesting and I think hot topic on Expel and where they're going with their cut patterns. So I think it's a topic that I'm glad he brought up. I think it's something everybody should know about. It's something better that's discussed openly. And I really want him to do more tint news. Hopefully he'll do them weekly. I enjoy it, so I think you will. And again, that's why I'm promoting it on here. And then he also mentioned the triages in there. So the triages are these purple triage that we did as a collaboration with Triage. They say Tint Wiz on them. And the purpose of these, you know, I had met the owner, Jay. I had met the owner, Jay, of Triage at the International Window Film Convention. When I was talking to him, so many people were coming up and talking about how much they loved his products. So I just thought, why don't we get these in the hands of Tint Wiz users? We had 5,000 of them made. We started sending them to our users. They started sharing it on social media. And then that led to other people saying, like, where could they get them? We started sending them out. Long story short, 5,000's gone. And this is what we have left. So I'm going to still try to divide these amongst everybody who's recently requested them. But we're coming up with ways to send other items potentially if we run out of these. But you know, they were a limited run. The idea is to get great products into everyone's hands, get them to experience them in the best, easiest way possible. And you know, I thought 5,000 was going to be plenty. If you didn't get one of these yet, please, you can still send us a request. If we don't have the triages to fulfill to you, we will hopefully send you some other cool products, and you'll also be on a list that we're going to keep. So if we do make more of these triages, you'll be the first ones to receive them. And yeah, so I'm sorry about that if you didn't get them, but I promise it's in no way like you know, we're just literally responding to the people who ask in the order that they ask and going from there. So check out his video. And a couple of the places you can still get triages, the purple triages. So first of all, the purple triages are like the blue triages. So if you really want to try this product and we don't have the purple, you can buy the blue ones from any tool company the triage is carried. And then Matt from Tint Stuff, Patrick from window tinting business, so from Dry Shrink Prep, and then let's see, we have Austin Cook from the Tinstitute, and the team over at Sun Distributing Tools. They all have purple triages on hand that they're able to send out with orders at no charge. So if we're not able to fill them, there are still technically some out there that you could still get your hands on. But if you want to go ahead and buy them, you can buy them directly from tool companies. You'd buy the blue ones, and the blue ones are going to be the same like size and hardness as these purple ones. And again, we probably will be making these again in the future, but we do have other products in line that we're anxious and excited to get in your hands that I think you'll enjoy. So that's that. So yeah, thank you all for joining the live stream right now, and let's keep moving on. Matt said that I sent a few people your way. I'll keep that in mind. I have extra triages I've been sending out to people. So yeah, anything you get from Matt or Patrick or Sun Distributing, or potentially like or from the Tinstitute from Austin, you probably will get a purple triage with that. So that's one way. And yeah, there will always be more and more cool stuff. I hope that every offering that we're able to bring out there will always be better than the previous. So you're never missing out. It just might be a little bit of a delay. So moving on from there, this was a post by someone that received them, Liz, and it brought a smile to my face just because of the pictures that they posted of them drinking out of an empty mug. But I just also wanted to point this out. A couple of people did comment and say, you know, like, hey, I got the triages, I didn't get the mugs. So we send what we can to who we can whenever it's requested of us. So if you want a mug, it's this simple. Send us a message. Send it on Facebook, on Instagram, through email. You can jump into your Tint Wiz account, hit the support, ask us there. whatever the way you want to contact us, all you have to do is ask and we send it your way. But please don't in any way take it personally. If you see something that someone got and you didn't get it, just ask, because that's the way we're kind of figuring out who to send what to what, because, you know, if not, it just becomes impossible. So if you see something you want, just shoot us a message. Don't be shy. It's literally why we made this stuff and why we're connecting with these companies. So just shoot us a message. We'll send it your way. But the last thing I want you to do is feel like you're being left out or somebody got more than you or something crazy like that. So Patrick also said, Patrick from Window Tinting Business and from Dry Shrink Prep said, use code WTB online, that stands for Window Tinting Business Online, for 15% off your order. And we're throwing in a few triage cards your way. That's a really great way to get some triages, because and a discount, a 15% discount, and some dry shrink prep in your hands, because dry shrink prep is a great alternative to dryer sheets. It's a healthier alternative to dryer sheets. It lasts longer. It's less expensive. Everybody's feedback is they like using it better and they would never go back. So you can kill a bunch of birds in one stone, and that's a great way to get them. So thank you, Patrick, and for the generous discount code, 15% discount code. Again, that's WTB for Window Tinting Business and then online. And moving on. So this is a post from the Window Film Pros. You know, there's a lot of window film groups on Facebook. My recommendation is join them all. If they don't kick you out, join them all, because they all have something to offer. You never know when valuable posts are going to come up, and they all pretty much have something that's valuable on a daily basis in there. I try to pick out what I think, you know, I either just want to comment on, I thought was exceptionally valuable, I want to make sure didn't miss, and just provide some commentary on that. So I'm going to do that, and also feel free to do that in the comments as well. So this one is in the Window Film Pros, and the question was, what is everybody's funniest or strangest window tinting story for 2019? Stories about customers and courage. So I'm actually not going to dive into the comments on this one. This is the only one that I'm going to skip on this. There's reading the comments on this would create a lot of audio sound bites that I'm not interested in creating with my voice. You don't want to hear me say some of these words, and I don't want to read some of these stories. But I will say, head over there after this video, maybe between this video and Patrick's live stream on YouTube in a couple hours, hour and a half about, and read through the comments. They're funny, they're crazy, they're outrageous. Some of them are a little vulgar. And I think it's a great topic. So Justin, you get you won the Great Topic of the Day award, I think, overall, because this one produced some great stories and it's still going. Again, that's in the Window Film Pros group. And another one from the Window Film Pros group. This one was by Patrick. Patrick is actually the founder of the group and also part of the, he has the Window Film Pros podcast. We did a podcast with him from SEMA a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen that podcast, check it out on our YouTube. You can also find it on our Facebook, and it's also in the podcast of the Tint Wizdom audio experience on Apple iTunes. So his question, which I thought was a wonderful question, was, as we near the end of 2019, share the best change you made in your business this past year to help you grow. From little things to small things, how have you evolved to continue to grow this past year? Chris said we added QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is an absolutely incredible, QuickBooks Online is a tool that I definitely recommend. Definitely there's other great options out there. And if you're used to using one, more power to you. But as you grow, QuickBooks becomes just such a great solution because of its full capabilities. Yes, it is a little more complicated, but once you set it up, it does integrate with Tint Wiz. But beyond that, the reason we created that integration as a first one was because as you grow your company, you know, you're going to have the most versatility working with accountants, generating reports for your company, P&Ls, you know, everything you need for your taxes and for your sales tax and for so on. So QuickBooks, I definitely recommend. Carol brought up Tint Wiz. Of course, that's absolutely the best thing you could do for your business. So, you know, that goes without being said, but we'll move on from there. So switch to Solar FX and QuickBooks, another one up for QuickBooks. And I always hear good things for Solar Effects. I hope I can get Sean from Solar FX on our Thursday. Tint Wizdom, I haven't reached out to him yet, but this is a good time. Sean, if you're watching, I'd love to have you on one of these Thursdays. And if you'd like to see Sean on, please leave a comment and tag him. Hopefully that'll be encouraging to him and he'll come on. I hear so many positive things about his company. Again, that to me makes me interested about the culture behind it. I assume that most of the window film brands, you know, they provide a quality film. That's why they're still here, and that's why everybody still uses them. But it's more about the culture that's behind the window film company that personally interests me, and there has to be a good one from all the things that I've heard about Solar FX. So yeah, and anybody for that matter that you'd like to see on a Thursday interview, please leave a comment or send us a message and we'll reach out to them or tell them, and love to have them on. And Sergio said switching to global, another interesting one. I'd be curious to hear him expand as to why. And then that was the next question: why did switching films make the difference? And then if you want to read the rest of the comments from that one, I didn't want to dig too deep into these topics because I do feel that, you know, part of Patrick, especially being the founder of the group, is the one who posted it. I don't want to step on any toes. I want to make sure that, you know, his content is, you know, there. And while I find it interesting content, certainly if you want to read that content and you know, you should go to his group and read it. So continue reading the comments there. But this one is one that I do want to dig way deeper in. So this one we're going to go through most, if not all, the comments, and then we're just about done with the Facebook, and we'll jump into today's topics. Lewis, you're very sorry. I was just reading the comments and catching up. Thank you for everybody in here live. We have over 20 people, which is freaking awesome. Thank you so much for watching live. It's one thing to watch this, but it's another to you know, carve out a chunk of your day to watch this live every Tuesday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't tell you how much it is appreciated. Lewis said, thank you for the gift. Lewis, you're so welcome. Everybody's so welcome. You know, we do what we can do, and love this industry. And these are just small parts of what we have planned in ways that we feel like we can just kind of really change the game. Not just say we're changing the game, but just change the way things are done. So Patrick also posted a link to the podcast, which thank you, Patrick. That's super helpful. If you want to see that podcast I was just mentioning, you can check it out in that YouTube link. So thank you so much for sharing that. So this post is also in the Window Film Pros, has a lot of good content this week, and it's also by Patrick. He said, question for the group from a marketing standpoint. So, you know what, let me point something out, because this is part of the reason why I think these are such crazy, exceptional posts to point out. The first post I just read said, what are the changes that you made this year that had the biggest impact on your company? If you're not studying that post, you are letting good advice go right over your head, because you're literally getting a pool of people who are willing to tell you the thing that stands out is the best thing that they accomplished all year. I think it's worth reading through. It's worth trying to understand the reasons behind it, and it's worth asking questions and engaging. This post is just as valuable, if not more. Question for the group: from a marketing standpoint, do you find that discounts on film jobs brings in more business than offering a better product for a lower price? So discounts versus a better product at a lower price. For example, could you lower the price on an entry-level job for, let's say, $225 to $175? That's $50 in revenue you're sacrificing. Or you could offer ceramic film for the standard pricing. Wait, what? Or you could offer ceramic. Okay, then you have the same labor in both jobs, so that's a sunk cost. So you only have 20 to 30 more in materials. However, the cost, most of you are typically charging 100 more additional for ceramic. So what he's saying is, you know, if getting the upcharge at a higher price, like taking your upcharge, moving it to a lower price, and getting getting that person to that upsell to that ceramic film is going to have a higher profit margin. And you know, even if that takes sacrificing maybe a little on the front end, or this is kind of what I want to discuss. And I think there was a lot of great comments from all different angles. So, you know, everybody's always talking about discounts, and you know, especially now we're in the holidays, we're in the winter season, you know, it's like, oh, it's a slow time. What should I do? Let me offer a discount. And what I want to drill into everybody's mind is, you know, while a lower entry price can get more people in the door, and certainly you should leverage that, okay? You have to understand that just putting out a discount there, like in social media, isn't going to bring in a bigger audience typically, because the problem is, unless you're properly promoting those posts and sponsoring those posts and getting your posts out there, you're typically just getting seen by a small little audience of people, possibly past customers, friends, families, other tinters, and so on. So in that way, you could offer it for free, and you're not necessarily going to get a big influx of customers. Now, the way to use that entry-level price discount effectively is when somebody's calling for a price, you know, let's say you typically offer it at 180, okay? Entry-level film, 180 for a full car. And you know there's a percentage. Percentage say, let's do it. Percentage says, oh, it's a little expensive. And a percentage says, you're out of your freaking mind. And the way to use it to your advantage is when it slows down, everybody slows down. At the end of the day, you need a certain amount of cars in your bay to pay your bills and to feed your family, you know, and so on. Pay the bills, make money, keep your employees busy, and so on. So what you want to do is, it is, I think, a great idea to lower your entry-level film price a little bit to increase the amount of people that just get in the door. Because it's my opinion that once the people get in the door, once you've got them past talking to you on the phone, driving to your shop, now they're seeing it in person. Now you can give them, you know, give them your best, and you can get them to that upsell. So while you may have given them a $20 or $30 or $50 discount to get them in the door, now you have the opportunity to upsell them, which could be a $100 or $200 upsell profit-wise, and a ticket of $300, $400 from there, you know, and it's not going to work for everyone, but on the average, if you're able to increase your profit margins and so on, that's profit that you're going to have in your pocket versus they never walked in the door. So it's a way you can actually make more than you would have on an entry-level job. Just by getting more people in the door, that's going to increase your odds of being able to upsell. And then from there, you're going to increase the amount of people that come in the door. You're going to increase your average ticket price, and you're going to get some more practice in upselling. You're going to keep your guys busy, or your ladies busy, your people busy. And I think it works. I know it works. So it's definitely something to try. And if you are looking to grow your audience, don't forget it takes more than a post. You do have to promote it. What I suggest is a great way to start if you haven't promoted a post yet is start by promoting every post for $5 for 5 days to 3 different audiences. So you're going to promote to the, well, 3 different audiences. Basically, you want to promote to the people that like your page. You want to promote to their friends. And then you want to promote to maybe like a 5-mile radius around you. And those 2 or 3 ways, depending on how you set up your platform or your ads, are going to cast a new net so that you can bring in new customers and bring in new awareness to your business. And then you're also building kind of like on a referral, because it's showing people, hey, your friend like this, do you want to like this? Hey, check out this post, and so on. And it is important that they're constantly seeing your post, because they're not going to necessarily even be aware of you the first time it flies by them on the Facebook post. So it is important that they not only see those first few, but they see you over time. That's going to build that momentum. And then of course, when you offer a discount, you're going to get some to maybe pull the trigger and say, hey, it's worth getting done now, or hey, I want to get a gift certificate or whatnot. So yeah, that's that. And I do want to jump into the comments, because the comments are everybody's opinion, and I think everybody's opinion matters and should be read. And I think they're interesting ones, and it's interesting how some of you'll see what I mean. Before I do this though, I do want to jump into the comments, and yeah, let's see, Terry, thank you so much for joining. Terry from TNT. Patrick said the queen of tint, and definitely all the way from Hawaii. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. They run an extremely successful window film company that is one of those companies that, you know, you just want to model off of. One of the last podcasts, I mentioned dealer meetings, and I mentioned the thing that I took most from the dealer meetings from all the different companies that I've attended was from the Select Pro meeting for Formula One, Lumar, Vista, and it's like the round table. The round table on the last day they do at the breakfast. It's all like tint shops just talking about their experiences, and Terry and her husband Tommy sharing their experiences from their company are always super valuable. So yeah, thank you for joining. Mike said, sorry, been quiet guys, still at the shop. Real quick, Shaded Outfitters wants to help the industry with some great and ever-growing apparel. Use promo code TintWiz10 for a discount off your offer. Thank you, Mike, for jumping in there. And what's really cool is Mike's busy at his shop. So it is winter, and you get some tint shops saying it's absolutely dead, and you say other ones, other tint shops are absolutely swamped with work. And I keep bringing that up every single show because I want everybody to understand it doesn't have to be slow in the winter. It doesn't have to be dead in the winter unless you're in Antarctica or you're in Alaska and it's completely dark. I don't think there's an excuse for being completely slow. There's always a way to generate business. And it can be tough when you don't see that way or when you feel defeated and when things are just so slow, but you have to look to those other shops who have successfully implemented things into their business that keep them busy all year round, whether those be marketing techniques or additional services, complementary services, and so on that stay busier through the winter. There is a way. So, Mike, no worries about being quiet. It's great that you're busy. That's freaking awesome. And, I mentioned that on Thursday's interview, this up-and-coming Thursday, we're going to have Marissa Ashley from ExoShield. We were originally going to have Jacob from H2O Tinting out of Florida. And, he asked me, hey, can we postpone a couple of weeks? I have some things in the works. I'm working super late in my shop. When we were chatting, he had 4 customers walk in at one time. And, of course, we'll postpone it as long as he wants. I don't care about postponing it. What I love to hear is that he's so busy, and I just can't wait to have him on and be able to have him share firsthand the things that he's doing and implemented that has made him so busy and successful. And I just think that's incredible that he is willing to share that sort of thing. So instead we're going to have Marissa from ExoShield, which was going to be the week after. We just bumped her up a week, and that'll be Thursday. So Chris said, regarding what Patrick said, with costs, it is exactly what my company is doing during the winter. We are killing it and essentially making more money and a ton of new customers. I mean, that says it all. There you go, in action. So that is why you should be part of every one of these groups, because you never know when game-changing information like this is dropped, and it can be dropped any day of the week, any hour of the day. I stay in these groups as much as possible. They're a great time killer, and where else are you going to get such great information? Carol, thank you for joining, watching. Mike Powell said that he posted today on his Instant Facebook and said that he had a reschedule with 1 spot available. Customer comes in for 2 fronts, sold him upgraded ceramic and full shield. I mean, there you go. That's the power of the network. Mike, I'm curious, was that an organic post, or did you have that post boosted? If it came in so quick, I'm guessing that it was organic, and great use of social media. You got to hustle. If Mike would have taken that time and instead of posting on social media trying to drum up some business, he could have posted in the group and talked a bunch of, he could have just wrote a long negative story about it sucks when customers cancel and they no show and it's so dead and this and that. And what would that have done? It would have bred no customer. You'd have nobody coming in. The other way, takes it in his hands, takes a positive spin on it, optimistic spin, gets a customer in there. Those are 2 different outcomes, and you can see that your actions do change your outcomes. So keeping with the positive ones, trying to keep an open mind to the things you don't know, and trying to keep an open mind to things that you may have tried in the past that you thought didn't work, that maybe you just didn't do right. Maybe you need to practice at it. Maybe things have changed. But if other people are saying they're working, I think it's always worth investing your time into trying to understand what they're doing and how they're working. So, Mike said, funny. I didn't read the next post. Mike said, thing is, I didn't even have a spot available. Just wanted to make a great day. So there you go. He took an optimistic approach. Made a creative post and just made his day great, and he didn't boost it. So that was free organic posting. So nice job, Mike. I absolutely love it. And give me 1 second. I'm just going to turn on the light in front of me so that we can have some light in here as it gets a little darker. All right. So hopefully that helps as it gets a little darker throughout the evening. So reading through some of the comments. Tyner said, I was thinking about this topic as I pay attention to everybody's winter marketing. I found discounting ceramic and other high-end films does very little to drive new conversions. For me, giving away something such as removal or additional services goes further. Also, a lower initial price point does help. The higher tier product customers are much more informed and are choosing your company first and aligning your price second. So I think that's great advice. And what he's saying is the customers that are going to come to you for that higher end product. So if you're discounting your $600 top tier film down to $400, well, the customer that was interested in that film and willing to spend $600 up front probably, like you're just getting less for your film. So you want to let that customer come to you and maybe pay full price and not a big deal. But then what you want to do is you want to get those door kickers or tire kickers, the ones that are shopping price, you want to try and get as many of those in the door as possible. And then once they're in the door, you can try and convert them to a discounted higher end top tier film. And that's where you discount that ceramic down. They see that they're going to create a huge value. When they were calling shopping for price, they probably didn't even know that such quality films existed and that heat rejection was something that they could get. So again, you want to get them in the door, then you want to upsell them. Harry, thanks for joining. Thank you for the comments. Oh, the other point that Tyner made that I think is a great example is he's saying like he can give away stuff like removal. Well, removal has a cost, right? Removal maybe on a whole car, on a back window, either way, it's around $100, $80, $120, maybe a little more if it's terrible, right? But you're giving that away. A lot of times, maybe that removal can go quick. Maybe it can be 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe it takes you an hour. But, you know, there's no material cost. It's only labor. So that is one way that you can give away a little bit of your labor and make it more, and then provide a huge value for your customer. Again, getting them in there, getting that upsell. Maybe you give away the removal with an upsell. With a higher end film. And you know, those are great ways that you can maybe take 20 minutes of your time and you can convert it to $100 worth of value or perceived value for your customer. So another great point. Chris said, we ran this promotion for Black Friday week. We gave free ceramic upgrades for the price of standard tint. On paper, it was $130 discount, but in actuality, it was only $20 added. Cost of goods. Where only 30% of our customers would upgrade normally, we got retail out of them for it. So another way that you can use perceived value and overall average price of ticket to your advantage. Because again, it's all about perceived value. It might not cost you more, it might cost you a little, but the perceived value is huge. That's going to make the difference. And at the end of the day, you want to have the highest profit margins possible with the least amount of time, essentially with the most happy customer. That should be the goal. So Todd said discounts come straight out of your profit. We don't give discounts. It brings in the cheap, picky people that are a pain in the ass. Always sell quality, not price. Now, while I agree, always sell quality, not price, this is one of those like yin and yang posts. So like if you read this, you're like, this guy never does discounts. Don't give discounts. It's going to bring in the wrong customer. Okay, so what happens? Let's just say that's, I mean, I can't say that's correct, but let's just go with it. So what happens to all the things we just talked about? Was that all make-believe? Like, what about all the other people's experiences that we just went over? Was that fake? So like, I don't know what to say to this other than you get to do whatever you want. There's different factors that can play a role. If Todd is busy every hour of the day, or he's busy the amount of hours he wants to be busy, then he may not see any reason to give a discount. However, that advice is not a one-size-fits-all for everyone because, as we just discussed, there's plenty of reasons to give discounts, even when it's not slow and in the winter, because discounts can help steer a customer in your door and then to an upsell. So discounts aren't about giving away money or making less money. Discounts are just like anything. You can use, you know, a hammer to hit a nail and build your house, or you can use a hammer to break your glass and have a broken window and let the cold winter air in. It's not about, you know, the tool. It's about how you use it. So, you know, while some people I'm sure have terrible stories about how hammers gave them a fat thumb, others will tell you how the hammer built their entire house for their family. So again, you have to use the tool properly. There's many ways to use the tool. There's no right and wrong way. But, you know, the ways that provide the most benefit, I would say, are the ones you want to look to. And again, this brings me to why you should always read all the comments, okay? Because you don't want to use bias to where when you read something like that, you're like, oh, I knew it. Discounts suck. I knew it. I hate discounts. Yeah, they do bring in cheap customers. Todd's right. Like, you know, hey, if you want to go that route, cool. But make sure you go that route after you've thoroughly explored the other route so you know what you're missing. Because sometimes you don't know what you're missing. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's there. So, you know, imagine nobody's ever worked out before and I tell you, well, if you lift these weights, you're going to, you know, get in great shape. You're like, well, this sucks. You know, I've been doing this for a few days. It's not working well. Sometimes it takes practice. Sometimes it takes consistency. It takes learning. It takes technique and so on. So try to go with the advice that leads to, you know, positive changes and try to, you know, take in the advice, but not necessarily follow the advice that, you know, are dead ends, because dead ends are easy to find if you want to find dead ends. I feel like it's more interesting to follow, you know, the paths people are willing to share and the successes that people are willing to share, and go from there. So Mike Powell said in the comments, sell yourself, guys. I had a customer today, found me on Google, called another shop first and was $65 cheaper than me. Build your work, stand behind your name and word. That's all we have, guys, is our word and how our actions follow them. Yeah, I mean, some people want price until they realize that there's a different quality levels involved. So, you know, there's different levels of customer service involved. So you can't just make the decision about the customer based on just because they asked about a price, because that's you making an assumption about them. And I tell you, that is not the right assumption to make. And that has something to do with our next slide, I believe, which we'll go from there. I want to keep reading these comments. Chamal Jose said, lower price without giving a discount, and get your hat. Support my biz without asking for a discount. And get your hat, support. Lower your price without giving a discount, and get your hat. Support my biz without asking for a discount. I'm not sure if you mean you're giving away hats or if it was like a typo, like an autocorrect. So definitely clear that up, because I want to know what you have to say. But I don't completely understand the second line. Lower price without giving a discount. Yeah, I mean, essentially, at the end of the day, what you want to be concerned about is your averages. How much time did it take you to do the labor that was involved in all your jobs, the profit you have, the average ticket price and the profit. Because if your profit's going up, if your ticket prices are going up, if your sales are going up, you're doing a great job. Mainly your Pawn Stars ruined retail. I mean, I don't know. Pawn Stars, you know, the show on A&E, I think it is. I watch from time to time. A lot of people get like turned away. They definitely, the Pawn Stars, I mean, I guess it's the negotiation aspects of it. It makes everybody want to haggle and get a good deal. There's a lot of shows like that. Certainly everybody wants a good deal, but once you understand what there is to be had in window film, when you can communicate that, certainly I think it gets past the deal. And then for some customers, it's never going to get past the deal. And hopefully you can provide an option that works at a lower price point for them and also works in your, you know, makes you money as well. There's always ways to do it. So Justin Lee said he's talking about a hat that's been posted online to support small business. Oh, got it. So I think I know what you're talking about, because there's been like a meme and so around there that, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong or not. What came to my mind was there was a meme that's shared often, and basically it's like, you know, in other wording says, hey, if you're my friend or you're looking to support my business, do it by paying the actual price, not asking me for a discount. And I think that's an awesome point, because, you know, your friend starts a business or your friend's in business and you want to support their business, and that's why you go to them and you love their work and so on. Like, don't you want to support their business by letting them make money on the service? Like, you're not necessarily supporting their business when they, you know, when you squeeze them dry and they don't make any money. You're actually taking advantage of their business. You're taking advantage that you know them, and you're working that to support yourself and support your own pockets. So if that's what you're talking about, you said that's correct. I don't know if you're talking to Justin or me, but if that's what you're talking about, definitely agree with that. And, you know, I think you should share that with all your friends. It's a good one. Anybody asks you for a discount, you can have the meme ready and just text it to them, and hopefully they get the point and realize that, man, it's not about, you know, saving a couple bucks because I know you. It's about supporting you because I want you to succeed. I'm happy for you and I appreciate what you're going to do. So Harry said, for those, give them a small discount and let them feel they one-upped you. So what he's saying is, hey, the ones that want a discount, just give them a little discount, let them feel like they got you. And, you know, you have to make the numbers work for your business, but definitely I don't think it's worth taking a hard line and just being abrasive with the customer, because a little bit of flexibility here and there, I think goes a long way, makes customers happy, and probably will earn you a good review at the end too, because sometimes the harder customers to get are the ones that appreciate the service the most, and they give you an opportunity to go out of your way. I'm not saying chase every single customer down to zero and down to $99, and I'm not saying that, but I am saying there's a gray line between there. There's some flexibility, and you want to try and make everybody happy. You want to communicate with your customer, and I just, sometimes people act like they just like shut it down and like shut down those people, and I just don't think that's not the winning way. So Tim said, we find in our market, which is competitive, we give them an incentive to bundle discount where a job needs to be booked and an additional service, and we'll give them a 10% discount, usually off these big ticket, $3,000 to $10,000 tickets. It is a helpful tool in that sense. Typically, though, standard tint job, the price is the price. So what he's saying is on bigger ticket jobs, sometimes he'll lump them in if they're in a certain area or whatnot, and then also trying to bundle services. So bundling services is a great way to offer discounts. You always want to try to, instead of chopping the price off of what the customer wants, offer them either an incentive to get more from you and to do more work at the same time, or offer them a different solution at a lower price so they understand, hey, it's not about chopping the price. It's just there are lesser price options out there. So when they think about, well, I know I can get a shop to do it for cheaper, they go, yeah, but what kind of tint is there going to be? This guy has that, has a lower price too. It's not all about lower price. Obviously, he's offering me something, he or she's offering me something different, blah, blah, blah. So that's that. In Florida, it's up to $99, not down to $99, Harry said. So he's saying in Florida, the price isn't up to $99, it's down to $99. And, the price isn't just $99, and up. It's like, it's going to be, $99 and less. So 99 is the most. And, he's definitely pretty spot on when you talk about some of the areas, really throughout Florida, but I feel like that exists in most states. Certainly in the hotter states, hotter climates, there's more of them. But I feel like, there's a road in downtown where literally you can see 4 tint shops, one from the other, from the other, from the other, and they're all packed in with glass and tint shops. So I feel like every city has that. The best is not to even look at that. That has nothing to do with you. Focus on quality, focus on building your business. There's enough glass in every city for everyone. So don't worry about your competition. Focus on your customer. Focus on yourself, focus on your customer. So Ed said, been down that road. Some customers that I know will lowball me. I always mark it up a little in conversation. Then I say, yeah, I'll knock off 25 for you. But I'm in a smaller town where I know most people through my full-time job, then they feel like they have won. Of course, that's a great way. It's a great strategy. When you start off with a price, well, normally this film is going to be about $205, but I can work a deal for you. If you're looking to get it done within the next couple of days or this weekend, we can do it for $185. When did you want to get it done? And lead them right into when did you want to get it done? And you're giving them a little discount. Maybe the price was $185 to begin with, whatever. But it gives them that satisfaction, and you're starting off. Now if they say, well, can you go any cheaper? I already gave you a $25, $35, $30, $20 discount, and it gives you that leverage. Hey, I really want to get your business. The most I can do for you is, if you'd like, I can throw in a free sun strip. That's going to be a $35 normally. Were you going to get a sun strip? Because I can do that at no charge for you, and start to throw something in at a little bit of value, Patrick Boyer says, some shops accept PayPal as payment and keep an iPad close. Buy and apply PayPal credit. Think it's up to $600, same as cash for the first 6 months. Some may not be liquid, but want an option to make payments. So what Patrick's talking about here is, keeping an iPad with PayPal ready to go. You can give your customers the option of financing their tint job, and in that case, in some cases, that's going to make the difference between them maybe being able to get that $600 tint job that they really want, or having to settle for the $200 tint job with the money that they brought and expected to spend or was in their budget. So PayPal financing is a way, and then there were a couple other finance options in one of the past Tint Wizzes we discussed. So I know with Tint, it's usually pretty tricky to get companies to finance, but as Patrick's saying, PayPal is a great option. PayPal's a great option too because everybody's familiar with it. So, great advice. Thanks, Patrick. And that should lead to a little more spending power on your consumers' end. When they came in maybe expecting to spend $200, they really want that $600. Instead of you having to discount it or miss out on the sale, let them finance it. What's the difference? If they want to finance it, they get 6 months financing on it. And then one more, Carrington Pierce said, this will sound insane, but whenever we do a promo pricing, we get pretty much no business. We had a promo of our standard level film for like 40 to 50 off and no bookings. One guy booked our premium level at $400 and completely ignored the sale. That's happened a few. Now, you know, what that tells me, I feel like, is nobody even saw the promo. Your customers came to you because that was the customer that wanted to come to you. And then the promos just didn't have an effect because nobody saw them, you know? And again, that doesn't mean no promos. It just means maybe the promo needed a better distribution, better audience, a little tweak in the promo, whatnot. Now, Carrington did say, now what you should do is offer 3 options, increase the prices for each option every entry level. Most customers will pay extra. For mid and top tiers, no one wants to see every entry level. Once they feel a heat box, if you have a heat demo in your shop, once they feel the heat demo, not many people are like, yeah, let me go with the cheaper one. It sounded good, that felt good. They're all like, whoa, I want the highest heat rejection. Like, they just do. Now, some aren't going to want to spend the money, and that's fine, but you definitely are going to convert more with that heat box than you will with telling them to trust you. It's better and it'll block more heat. He said, I profited nearly 80 to 250 depending on what vehicle chooses mid and top, and you aren't increasing labor as you're still tinting. Point is to carry all 3 always. So what he's saying is the cost of good is marginal when you're going up from like a entry level to a mid level or upper level. The cost is small, and the difference in the cost of film, it's not that much. The labor is the same, but the difference in price can be double or triple. So there's a lot of money to be made in upsells. So don't focus necessarily on your lowest cost film. Focus on how to get them to your mid and upper level, and focus on your overall average profit margins and average tickets, because even if you do some tint jobs at less money than you wished, if it meant that you brought in other customers that ended up going at a much higher price than you wished, if the average works out in your favor, that's all that matters. So Harry said, the other problem is promos is that the goal is to increase sales, not just reduce what you would normally get anyway. Yep, that's exactly right. Andrew said heat boxes are so misleading though. You know, I'm sorry. Yeah, Andrew said that. And then, Andrew, I'd love to hear more on that. You know, there are ways to make heat boxes misleading by using infrared bulbs. But you can use standard like heat bulbs that just create heat, and you can show the customer how much heat is caught in the glass of the film and how much less comes through the glass. So, you know, like the heat box, you can, it's a tool. So like you can do a terrible job with a heat demo, or you can do an awesome job. You can use a heat bulb that is an infrared heat bulb, and, you know, which isn't an accurate representation of the sun, or you can use, you know, a regular heat bulb and it's not going to be as wow, but it's still going to get the point across. And, you know, you can't deny that. Like, there's no denying that how much heat these window films will bring, quality ceramic films and spectrally select films will bring on glass. So, you know, you get in a car that has heat on the windshield or on the side windows or doesn't. Like, the difference is night and day. So when you use these heat boxes, the difference is night and day. So I don't completely see how it's deceiving at face value, though I'm not saying that there's no way to not use it to deceive customers, but I think it's pretty accurate in the sense it lets the customers feel the difference between clear glass, your lower grade films, and your upper level films. And, you know, in a car, that's pretty much what happens too. If you have a low grade film, you get heat. If you have a great film, you don't get much heat coming through it. So yeah. Ed said, heat box is one of the several things I brought in this year, nothing but upsell after upsell. That's it. Chimal said, been in the biz for 15 years and has been working great for me like that. Yep, because that's, yeah, I mean, that's it. So like if you're not doing that, if you feel like there's more strategy to what you could be doing, ask some questions, learn from other tinters. Keep your eyes open on the forums, watch some YouTube videos, because there are some great videos down there on upselling and heat demos and so on. So check those out, and just, it's a tool that you want to sharpen, because you're going to interact with that customer. Every single customer you're going to interact with. So the sharper you can get that tool to upsell, and the better you can get that process from lead to sale, the better the entire future of your business is going to be. Everything from how much even just you enjoy it, to how much you profit, to how much it grows, to the customer telling you, wow, that's amazing, instead of telling you, can you do it for less? So put in that time. So Andrew's saying, what's your opinion on IR versus total TSER? You know, I'm not an extremely technical guy. I'm not one of those people who are going to dig extremely deep into the different into the different specs of films. But what I will say is I also don't think that you need to dig extremely deep into the specs of films with customers. And what I think you're getting at, which I already am going to agree if we're on the same page, is, you know, companies will use infrared numbers, infrared heat rejection numbers, to mislead customers. They'll say, hey, this film has a 99 or 98% IR rejection or 88% IR rejection. And the impression that the customer gets then is, I'm going to block 98% of the heat. Okay, of course that is misleading the customers. Now, in my opinion, I don't think most customers need to hear stats of films. I think they need to see what the film looks like so they can get an understanding of what it's going to look like on their car, the different tones, the different colors, and so on, the darkness of the film. And then a heat box is going to help them feel the, you know, differences in the film. So you're not asking them to take your word for it, because if you are, that's just, how's that going to work? Now you sound like a you know, like you're selling them magic like oils or something. So, you know, I just think between them seeing, feeling the film, some key stats on the film, I wouldn't focus on IR. Of course, total solar energy rejected is a number. I think my understanding is the most the number that represents the heat reduction best of the film, but, you know, because it does take in, it's an average of so many other measurements. But, you know, once you even start talking about these measurements, then you have to say, well, everybody measures their films on different spectrums and different averages of the spectrum. So they're going to take different averages, wherever the points in the spectrums that benefit their readings the best, they're going to cut that, and then they're going to have that as their average reading. So, you know, at that point, now you're completely confused your customer. I've confused myself. I've probably confused you. And this is why I don't really get into stats too deeply, other than having a fundamental understanding of what they are, why your customer may need to know them, how they affect film to glass application. You want to understand solar absorption rates. You want to understand different glass types and so on, because those are going to be some stats that help you understand glass compatibility and, you know, reflectivity of a film, because again, that's going to give you an indication of how that film is going to look during the day, during the night, from the inside, from the outside looking in, from the inside looking out, and so on. So you want to understand the stats, but I in no way think that you should focus your sales pitch on IR numbers, because if you're focusing on numbers, then everybody has some numbers that they can put out there, and who really cares about numbers? You care how it feels, you care how it looks. That's how customers are going to be interacting with the film every day. They're going to be looking at it, they're going to be feeling the benefits from it, and they're going to be enjoying the durability and so on. They're not going to be, you know, hitting it with a meter every day and checking the stats and using those numbers for anything. So I think the numbers are a great way to confuse customers and, like, you know, like maybe you're getting at, potentially even mislead customers, because if you tell your customers, hey, it has 98% IR rejection, there's more to heat than IR, but so and so and so and so, next thing, all they heard was, it's going to block out all the heat. And then, of course, you're not going to exceed their expectation. You're going to come below their expectation no matter how great the film is, because no film's going to block out all the heat. No film's going to block out 99% of the heat either. So that is that. So Harry, in with a little assist here on the stats. He said IR is reported fully as a relationship to TSER. Oh, no, he didn't say is. I said if. I said is. Harry said if. All right, let me start again. IR, if reported fully as a relationship to TSER, has the same relationship to UV to fading. So Harry, I need you to explain more on that, because you know what you're talking about for sure, and I don't completely understand that. I know it's an average, but I don't know how to break that down. Matthew Sander, thanks for joining the Tint Wizdom. This is one of the guys who does like breaking down the numbers. This is the guy with all the meters in his tool belt. So check out Matt Sander on Facebook. Check him out on YouTube. And he's been posting more and more and more videos. He is clearly technically minded. He grabs films, he grabs samples. He has films all over his glass based on the videos he posts. And he's always testing the durabilities, testing how they reflect, how they absorb, how they block IR. I mean, he's got all the meters that I don't necessarily completely understand. So check out Matt. And hey Terry, well, by mistake or not, happy holidays to you too, and thank you for joining Tint Wizdom. Always happy to see you in here, and I can't say, obviously, I'd love to have you or your husband or anyone from your team on a Tint Wizdom one day at your convenience. We can do it anytime, any day, You know, I think everybody would benefit from it, and I would absolutely love it. So Harry said IR is a piece of TSER as UV is a piece of fading. It's like saying cake is 1,000 calories. So what Harry's saying is IR goes into total solar energy rejected, right? So IR is a piece of the whole pie. The whole pie is everything. That's total solar energy rejected. IR is a piece of that pie. So it's going to have a piece of the heat. It's a piece of that pie. And then he's relating it to UV is a piece of fading. So again, that's another place that people are often misled is, you know, oh, 99% UV. UV is what causes fading. Well, certainly UV is one aspect of what causes fading, and it's actually the largest piece of the pie of what causes fading. But it's not by any means the only piece of the pie that causes fading. So the other two pieces are going to be heat. Heat will cause fading. So if you block all the UV, but it is subjected, but whatever the material, the rug, the floor, the wood, the fabric, if it is subjected to heat, heat will break down the dyes in materials and whatever the materials are comprised of. So heat is another huge aspect of the piece of the fading pie. And then the other one is visible light. So if you want the best protection from fading, you have to block the UV, you have to block the heat. So you want to keep it UV free, you want to keep it as without heat, cool as possible, and then you have to block the light. And that's why things are stored in the dark a lot of times. Obviously, that's not going to be a great option for your artwork in your living room, but visible light, just the visible light will actually play a role in fading. So, of course, you're not going to cut out all the light from somebody's house, and you're not going to be able to cut all the heat from their house, but the idea is, in the case of fading, you want to provide a film that is going to be the darkest that they're comfortable with, the darkest that they like. So yeah, clear. They could say, hey, this is for my artwork, and I want the clearest film you have with 99% UV. Well, you can give them that film, but you've only hit one aspect of that. So it's important that you educate them and that you know and they know that, hey, clear will block the UV, but if you're trying to block fading, you have to block the heat. You have to block the visible light. So we have to go with a film that's going to cut out as much heat as possible. And then we have to cut out as much visible light as you're comfortable with in the room, that you still love your room, and you're going to be comfortable with the level of protection that your artwork or your floors or your rugs are getting. You know, so your customer understands. When your customer understands this, you've just taken your sale from being about the product and being about the price to being about the service and being about the quality. And, you know, you've taken it from being about the price to being about the product is what I meant to say. And, you know, you've set yourself as an expert, and most likely they are with you, whichever film you recommend at that point. And they start now at this point to understand the differences in quality of window film. And they know, hey, it's not just some clear film being slapped on my home. I need technology. I need a high quality film that's going to suit my purposes. So Andrew said we need Tommy. Andrew, I freaking agree with you. Please tag Tommy, message him, do whatever we got to do. The more people that ask, I feel like, you know, it becomes hopefully we can nudge him to getting on here one of these Thursdays, or any day of the week that works for him. We can do a special. Special. Matthew said that's why museums don't have windows. Exactly, because museums, it is so valuable that they protect their artwork and they protect their sculptures and their everything. It has to be protected. They're gonna have all different materials in there, so no windows are gonna be better than letting in some light. They'd rather get the light from you know, artificial lighting and not risk any of the harmful damages from sunlight. You know, you are going to go into people's homes that are going to have paintings that are worth more than you've seen in museums, and you have to explain to them the scenario and give them those trade-offs so they can understand what they're going to get from those films, because you don't want a scenario where it's too late when they realize it's a year later, it's 2 years later, there's damage done, because at that point your explanation isn't going to work or help anyone. Harry said we say that 500 of those are coming from fat. Oh, it's the relation to the cake. So like it's a piece of the cake. And Andrew said that's why fade factor PDF is crucial with every residential bid. It's crucial if you want to sell the job. It's crucial if you want the customer to know you know what you're doing. But if you don't have a fade factor in there and you're going in for privacy, and somebody like Andrew comes in behind you and does have one, you can see where you might think, oh, that guy was just, that, you know, that family just wanted price. Oh, that guy was unreasonable. That lady just wanted price. She didn't get it, or she doesn't want quality and so on. But hey, maybe somebody won on price by charging more because they were able to educate the customer. So this is a good example, and thank you for sharing that. You know, he doesn't need to share that with everyone, and it just goes to show you what an incredible industry this is, where people are able to share things that work for them, that make them money with other companies. And that's why I love it. That's why this is a family. Michael Anthony said, have a customer today. They have a decorative front door that is behind a storm door. They want to see the door, but they don't want the storm door to let heat through the front door. What's a good option? All right, so let me get this again. They have a decorative front door that is behind a storm door. So the storm door's outside, then they have a decorative door. They want to see the door, but they don't want the storm door to let heat through the front door. So you're saying, what's the best option? I lost myself on where the storm door is in the front door. Not your fault. I just don't get it for some reason. But I can say this: if the idea is to block heat, first of all, you definitely want to know what type of glass is on that door. You want to understand how the sun's hitting it, if it's hitting it with any overhangs because it's a front door, if any parts of that are getting heated up more than others and so on, that could potentially cause thermal stress if you start to absorb more heat. And then once you understand what type of glass it is and what's going on and what direction it's facing, then I would say if you want to see the door, if I'm understanding correctly, you have to go with something that's going to be non-reflective, the lowest reflectivity, so that you're not getting that shine back on you. You're able to see the door from whichever direction you want to see it. And I would think you'd want to go with like ceramic film, because ceramic film, like a 70 shade or an 80 shade or a 60 shade, even a 50 shade of a high quality ceramic film is going to absorb that heat. So it's going to keep it from passing through. It's not going to affect the view of that glass. So if you're happy with how the glass is looking now, it shouldn't affect the decorative look of it. It shouldn't affect anything. And that should be a great option for you. So Matthew said the storm door covers the front door and that airspace gets really hot. So definitely worth knowing what type of glass it is. And I'm curious for everybody else's opinion. Matt, have you dealt with this before, being in Florida with storm doors? I'm guessing you might have. I'd love everybody's opinion, Harry. Something maybe you've dealt with as well. And, you know, from my perspective, you just want to go with a film that's like, how can you really know, I guess? But yeah, if you want visibility, you have to go with a clear film. If you want heat rejection, you have to go with something that's going to trap that film or reject or reflect that film. Reflecting one maybe at the compromise of not being able to see. And then, you know, you have to factor in what type of glass it is, what type of absorption, and how hot that actually gets, and go from there. See what happens. So, well, we get some responses there to that one. I'll read a couple more comments and then we'll be almost out of this Facebook. Sorry it went so long. We're over an hour at this point, but I don't know. The time flew. So, well, we get some responses on that one. I love it. Mike Sanchez, window film, great. Said, I love the idea. I also love ceramic job, actual MSRP, and give a $100 discount if they tag their friends on a post or show their cars tinted. Check into your business, get a 5-star review, and so on. That's the best $100 save all year. I 100% agree with this. That value, that review is going to bring back, that share is going to bring back potentially so much more money to you than that $100 investment. Look at it as a marketing cost, and definitely worth it, perceived value. So Michael said, yes, it gets so hot that the rubber seals heat up and give off a smell. So that's good information to know as we get some groupthink on that answer. One last post. Man, I didn't mean for the post to go so long. I promise I'll fly through them quick, but I thank you all for hanging in. And then we're going to get to today's topic, which is on Tint Wiz and is feature related. Rob said, that is always a question. Do you want to be the Walmart or a specialty store? You have to figure out your market first. If you're in an area, price over quality offer. This I don't agree with at all. Sorry, Rob. I don't think it's so much reliant on the area. I think it's how you position yourself in the area. If you're looking at giving a discount as you becoming Walmart, you're not realizing that it's not about being the low-cost leader. It's about using discounts to incentivize and attract customers in the door and, get that customer through the whole process. John's response, I think, is pretty on point. He said Neiman Marcus has sales certain times of the year, you need to be creative and incentive for people to come in. You don't have to be a Walmart to have a sale. I definitely agree with that. Brody said, my thoughts, why lower the price? Manufacturers don't lower the price. They just increase them. Tint is not a necessity. It's a luxury and should charge as such. Well, if you're looking for reasons to lower the price, read the comments, watch the previous part of this Tint Wisdom, and there's some reasons there. If you don't want to lower the price, I definitely don't think everybody should do everything. You should do what you want. There's a million ways to cook a steak that comes out delicious, and you want to find the way that works best for you and you enjoy doing. So there we go. I've never had a promotion in my life. I charge the same thing. Well, that hopefully your shop's super busy, and if it is, then you don't have to run a promotion. If you're super busy, you might even want to think about raising your prices, because it might actually work in the other direction. All right, this is another topic. I didn't realize how many I put in here because there were a lot of great topics this week. Flatback, I'm going to go through this one super quick. Flat glass folks, what is your advice when commercial clients making sure they get paid in a reasonable amount of time? I'm going to skip to the best response, which was stay on top of your business. I give them 30 days and call them on day 31. If they go longer, send an updated invoice and so on. This comment I agree with. You want to invoice them right away. Make sure they know what the cost is before you're even out there doing the job. That way, hopefully, they can have payment for you ready when you're leaving. That's going to get some of them. Some of them are going to have a net 30 or whatever the terms. They're going to mail you a payment. They're going to pay online. That's okay too. The key is to stay up on everybody. The sooner you get paid, the less chances you run of them not wanting to pay you or using the money they had set aside for you for something else and not being able to pay you. So get paid as quick as possible. With that said, I don't think payment terms should be something that are a deal breaker. I think you should be flexible with companies that don't seem like they're trying to rip you off, established companies and so on. Build those relationships. Trust that you're going to get paid. Do your diligence. Have your systems in place to get paid. And overall, expect that, yes, here and there, you're going to get screwed. It happens to everybody. It can even happen on a customer that comes in and gets their car tinted if they charge back on their credit card. Sometimes you lose those. So understand that's part of business. It happens. Just factor it in. Don't let it bum you out. And overall, you just want to stay on top of it and make the numbers work in your advantage. So we got a couple of replies here I want to read through. Brittany said, we just sold an Avery Paralight 70 because the customer wanted some protection without changing the look. It's a fantastic film, but glass compatibility has to be taken into account. I can get that in for you if you'd like. So there's a 70% film. And like she said, that's it. You have to always take into consider glass compatibility. And in situations that you can't necessarily 100% read, you want to go to the manufacturer of that film. You want to get their support on it. You want to show them pictures of the project. You want to get them as much. Take a picture of the stamp on the glass. Try to find out as much as you can. And then ultimately, you're going to get their expertise on it, their willingness or unwillingness to warranty that project. And then you are armed to give the customer the full scope of what's going on. And if that means telling them, hey, there's no real way to know if this is going to crack the glass or not, you can have them sign a glass waiver as long as they know what they're getting into and it's in the direction of trying to solve their issue and they understand it and you've sought all the support you can, then sometimes that's going to be how that goes. And you're not going to be able to guarantee anything, but you're able to at least proceed with the right things in place so that you're covered, the manufacturer has provided their support, the customer understands the position they're in, and hopefully you can get it solved without any issue. Andrew said, I've dealt with this a bunch. Their door paint fades after a year or two. They will install a door. They will install a storm door just to tint it with a DR or dark tint. Common issue, you need something that cuts the fading too because wood on the doors get beat down on the fade. That's a great point. And then Michael said, please do. I'm pretty new to this whole tinting industry. So thank you, Brittany. Thank you so much. That's awesome, Michael. Thank you for asking the question. And this is the support that our peers can give us. And it's also support that you should look to for your manufacturer. So don't be afraid to go to your manufacturer, get that support from them. Don't be afraid to ask your peers. This is what is so great about the window film industry. It is a freaking family. And I love seeing the family come together. It's kind of like a family with like a little bit of drama, but sometimes a little drama in the window film groups. But for the most part, just family. So how loyal are your customers? Curious on repeat customers if they ever took their vehicle somewhere else because you didn't get them within 2 days. Somebody said that's loyalty right there. Somebody said I've had people wait for months for me. So real quick on the loyalty thing, you're going to miss customers because of time constraints. Some people want to get their car tinted. They're not going to wait a month. They're not going to wait a week. They want to do it. Don't take it personal. Take it like this. Maybe there's ways you can improve your business that you can take the wait time from being 2 weeks to 1 week, or 2 weeks to 1 day. There's ways you can add to your team. There's ways you can get basically the backlog done quicker, and then you can satisfy some customers. Being able to turn a tint job quick will always mean more customers. You know, whether it works or not for your business, or you're able to do it or not all the time, that's another story. But don't take it personally. It's not a sign of loyalty. Just roll with it. Just roll with it. Okay, this is the last post. This one has to do with Tint Wiz, and this is how we're going to lead into today's topic, which has to do with Tint Wiz. But I do want to read this post. This was a post by me, and it was about Tint Wiz, and it was a clip from a previous Tint Wisdom I had shared. And basically, in this clip, I said, I think every red flag tinter should listen to that clip. It's about a minute, and basically what I'm talking about in the clip is that, you know, how important it is that you should not leave a consultation for a residential or commercial without giving them a quote on the spot, okay? Giving them the quote right there on the spot gives you the opportunity to improve the sale. Okay, I've said this many times. You are going to improve your likelihood when you're able to quote the customer on the spot. You're able to answer any other questions. You're able to negotiate price if that's an issue. You're able to schedule the job. You eliminate so much more issues and work downstream. You eliminate having to come back to answer questions. You eliminate a phone call that you might miss. You eliminate another phone call that you have to schedule. You eliminate them calling around to get quotes. There's so many things you can eliminate by giving them a quote on the spot that I think, from my experience, that everybody should be doing it. And when you don't think it's important, I feel like it's typically because you don't know how valuable it is, because you haven't done it. Now, I want to read an opposing opinion. That's what this is always about, okay? The people that are on Thursday, the quotes that I read, the commentary that I provide, I'm trying to provide my opinion. I'm trying to provide my experience and what works for me and what I've seen work for others and so on. But I always want both sides to the coin, because I think it's always important to have both sides of the coin. That's the only way you can actually make a great decision. So I want to read a comment that from somebody who definitely didn't think that I was right. So Marco did think I was right. And Maria said, in some cases, this may be true, but I don't see it being true for all situations. In my opinion, the more sales calls you have made, the better you get at reading your client and reading how to close them. For starters, we always pre-qualify homeowners. Find out how many windows they have and what type. Find out where the home is located, as there are areas that simply do not warrant a visit, no matter how many windows they have. Handwritten quote on the spot to a shopper will do nothing more than arm the next guy in the door with your playbook. I can't disagree with this more, and I'll dive into that in a second. I think when you're, well, I'll dive into it now and then we'll move on. I think when you're pre-qualifying your customers, I think you're making opportunity for other people to come in. I think you start to form a callus. Your judgment can go in one direction. And look, at the end of the day, if it works for you, Maria, then that's what you should do. But I am telling you, there is a better way. If all the other aspects of your business line up. So if you're super busy, then you have to pick and choose the jobs you go to, then cool, then that's what you do. Of course, you want to make the most of your time. But if you're looking for ways to expand, you know, having an extra person that can do consultations and then being able to go on all the consultations overall, I know for a fact, will bring you more jobs. And I know what'll happen too is jobs that people that call about price and people that call about 1 window and 2 windows, those are the people who, once they find out, they're interested and they want to know more and they have other windows. When you get into somebody's house, that's more than a lead. They're willing to let you in their house. You can go through their house. You can see what other windows they have. You can talk about their skylight they didn't even know could be tinted. You can see the windows facing the street that need privacy. You can see the ones in the back, and the French doors in the back letting in heat. You can see everything. You can see the dusty blinds in their bathroom. So, you know, if you're willing to go out, treat every customer the same way, put your best foot forward and do a consultation and go through that sales process and educate your customer, on an average, you will absolutely make more sales. So Andrew said, do you leave a paper estimate or wait for them to check their email? So the best practice is you create the proposal on Tint Wiz live right then and there, meaning when you're doing the measurements, you're measuring, you're entering the measurements. Entering the measurements is faster than writing the measurements. I'm 100% certain of that. It may not be the first time, but it will be the third time or fourth time. You can type faster than you can handwrite, and it's clear, and it's a better record for you, and it's sortable, and then it's on the proposal, and it's professional. So you're gonna put your measurements in. You pick your film options, you select your price, and you can generate the proposal right then and there. You can send it to your customer through text message and or email, but what I suggest is you pull it up for them right on the iPad, and you show it to them, and you say, okay, here's the proposal to review, and you can go through it. So this is the option we talked about with the highest heat rejection film. This is the one with the reflective film that has a little bit less heat rejection, but gives you, and this is the one with the, and you give them those options, and you see them, you read them, you see their faces when they're talking about price, when they look at the price, when they ask about, wait, which one was this? Okay, so why is this one so much more than this? And you're able to answer the questions on the spot, and then you're saying, okay, so which one do you want to move forward with? You know, you're able to lead them to that sale. When would you like to get this done? And you're able to schedule it for them right then on the spot. Certainly, there's going to be times when you're going to need to email it to them or and text message and then leave. That's going to happen. But if every single opportunity that you get, you're doing it on the spot, your averages are going to go way up. Way up, okay? And you're eliminating the back end work of having to schedule people and having to reply to their call and them emailing you with questions about the film. And now at the end of your day, you have homework. You have to go home and you have to go to your email and you have to add this question of why is this customer comparing this film to this film, and now they're asking about this other brand, and now you have an email, now you have homework, and then you're going to go, well, okay, I don't want to respond to this email, it's late, I'm just going to call them in the morning. So now you have more homework, and tomorrow when you're calling them, you're missing other phone calls, and you can see how life can kind of start to become this turmoil that like you didn't get it, and then when you pick up the phone, you're a little overwhelmed. And it could have all been avoided by doing it the right way the first time and understanding that if you trust this process, but what I mean by is trust the process of treating all the customers with the respect they deserve. Treat them all like the same type of quality, whether they live in a good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood, whether they say they have a couple windows or they have a ton of windows. Okay, sometimes people are going to call you out for a ton of windows and they're going to want it dirt cheap. Well, I have a ton of windows, it should be cheap. You can't prejudge everybody. We're not good at it. If we were, that would be the way that it would be, like that would be the way. It would be like a known sales strategy is just judge people. There'd be like a handbook how to judge people. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. You fool yourself when you think you're judging people. Okay. So Matt said we text and email his quotes and of course tell them verbally. Andrew said we need to have a phone call this week. Absolutely, we definitely have a phone call this week. And what we can also do, if you're down, is I'd love to have a phone call, but I'm just saying, I'm also down if you think your questions can benefit everybody. Have you on a Thursday, ask the questions live, or we can do it on a different day. And that way those questions get asked live. People are able to then ask follow-up questions and get better explanations. And it kind of works in full circle. So I'm down for that, Andrew. Phone call, live, online, whatever you want to do. And the same goes for anybody with any questions that wants tutorials or help with any aspect of their business. That's what this is about. So, Betsy said, so true. Absolutely agree. I've been there. At one point, I was doing handwritten quotes. I didn't always leave clients with a quote. Once I started using Tint Wiz, I started giving clients on the spot. My sales went up. It 100% works. It does. So, moving on from there, the next reply was me explaining it and basically telling you guys, like, you know, I mentioned the previous company. The advice I'm giving you is what worked in a flat glass company I used to own. I now no longer own the flat glass company. I was able to sell that company, which allows me to focus on Tint Wiz and share these best practices with nothing but pure intentions in mind. I want to see the industry grow. But, you know, for the last 4 or 5 years before this, I was pretty quiet. Most of you people, people that know me now didn't know who I was. I was quiet online and I was just busy working. I'm not a guru. I'm not here to tell you, hey, I think this method could work. I read a book and, you know, this is what I read. I'm telling you things that I implemented in my business that absolutely worked, that led to an extreme growth in a 4 or 5 year period, that led to the ability to be able to sell the company. It led to, you know, a brand new company in a brand new city, being able to become the largest in that city, in a competitive city, in a city where people complain about price, in a city where there's 15 tint jobs in a 15-mile radius. So I'm telling you what works. I'm not in any way trying to be braggadocious. I'm not trying to, toot my own horn. I in no way ever want to do that, but I do want to point in my reply some facts out so that you can understand where I'm coming from with this knowledge. I'm not trying to sell you on an idea. I'm trying to sell you, or I'm trying to inform you on something that 100% works. So, hey, if you want to trust the process, you can trust the process and get something out of it. So those are my replies. And, I guess let's jump into today's topic. So thank you, if you're still watching, for making it all the way through that 1.5 hour intro to our topic today. We're at the 90-minute mark, and we probably won't be too much longer because this won't take very long. It's a very quick feature on Tint Wiz. So I want to show you, and to start, I'm going to actually log out of Tint Wiz. So, I want to show everybody a specific feature, and I just want to take you from website all the way into the app and starting to use it, because a lot of people, like in our support, they come, they'll say like, hey, where do I start? And, in your head, you can think like, wow, using Tint Wiz, like, oh man, this is a big system. Like, what am I going to do? Let me implement this on the first of the year. This will be like a diet, or like, this is a whole new thing. It's super freaking easy. It's seriously easier than signing up to Facebook. It's probably easier than finding our Tint Wizdom video. And I want to show you that, and then I want to jump into this feature, and then I want to talk about a new feature. So I just want to show you, to get started with Tint Wiz, this is what it takes. You go to tintwiz.com, or you download it in the App Store, you click the sign up button, and it's going to ask you for 2 pieces of information, your email and a password, and that lets you register. That's the only information. So after you enter that information, you are now a Tint Wiz user and you're in. So since I've already done that, I'm going to log in, and let me log into our demo account. So I'm logged in. This is the screen you're going to see for the most part when you log in, and you can see I can toggle between businesses. I have a couple businesses set up here, and you're logged in. So what you see here is an overview, okay? You have a menu here on the left. This is going to show you your leads, your contacts, your projects, and all this stuff. But I don't want to overwhelm you with the whole app. I want to point out 2 things for you. This is where you start, okay? You start by clicking this big green button that says Add a Contact, and you start adding a contact, okay? Because every client you have, you should be adding somewhere. You have to save their information somewhere. You're either writing it in a book, you're putting it in Google Calendar, you're putting it in Apple Calendar, you're putting it somewhere. So this is an easy first step. From there, once you create your contact, you can start adding projects, you can start sending quotes, you can upload pictures, you can add notes, and so on. There's so much you can do, but getting started is as easy as adding a contact. Now, I want to show you a feature that, like I said, this feature takes about 4 minutes to set up. You're about to see that, and once you set it up, or we set it up for you in that 3-4 minutes, because we can do this whole thing for you, it will save you time every single day. Every single day, throughout the day, every single day moving forward. You are going to thank me. You're going to thank Tint Wiz. I can guarantee it, because everyone who has implemented this has had something positive to say about it, because it's a one-time thing with so much future benefit. So what I'm talking about is the lead forms up here. And the lead forms are basically a way to get your leads into Tint CRM effortlessly, okay? So what I'm saying is, instead of using a regular old contact form on your website, this is a contact form that replaces the archaic contact forms that are nothing but spam nets that gather in spam and go to your email. And this is a contact form that is going to message you in-app. You're going to get an app notification. The client's information goes straight into Tint Wiz. You get an email letting you know, you get that app notification, and you don't get spam. It doesn't have a CAPTCHA code. It's the easiest, most customizable form you're going to find on the internet. And I want to show you how we set these up, how you can set them up, how we set them up, and then I want to show you and actually have you guys use them right now live on Tint Wizdom. So right now, this is what yours would look like. There's a default one set up, but I'm going to go ahead and set up a brand new one. So look, we're in the lead forms. You can set up as many lead forms as you want, okay? These are contact forms you're going to use on your website. And watch, I'm hitting Add New, and I'm going to name this contact form, okay? Or contact page, because this one we're going to assume is going to replace the form on your contact page. You can make as many as you want. You can put them on any pages as you want. You can link them to your Yelp. You can link them to Facebook, to Instagram, anywhere you want. They're the most versatile tool for gathering leads possible. And watch this. I name a contact form. I don't need any notes in here. I hit save. what I've just created here is the lead form. Now, what I have first and foremost are the stats. So these lead forms come with tracking, so you're gonna be able to see the stats of the leads that come in, currently, past, and so on. Below that, you're gonna see some very helpful things below. You're gonna see the share link area, you're gonna see the embedded code area, and you're gonna see the lead form customization area. So I wanna go through these things one at a time and show you how simple. So first and foremost, I wanna show you how these lead forms work. So we're gonna do the share link. So what the share link is, the share link form is gonna open a form. This is now what the form looks like in its default state. So I didn't do any customization. I don't have a logo in here. It just grabbed the information from Tint Wiz and it's showing me the, our test company, a test address, and the form. Okay, this is an example of how the form looks when you link it, or you could embed this form on your website to replace your current contact form. Now, this form is completely customizable. It's customizable in the lead form area right here where you see edit settings. You can go ahead and customize absolutely every aspect of this form, all the text, all the colors, all the fields, different types of fields, what it says once you submit it. It's super customizable. We have it set up like this because this is a very great best practice as is. The less you have on the form, the more conversions you're going to get. So we feel like, having a name, phone number, email, and message, leaving only the name required, gets your customer to put in the most information possible, but you can customize this in any way. So what I'm going to do is I want to drop a link to this lead form in the chat, and I want to show you how it works. So I'm going to drop a link in here right now. And you're going to see this link come up in the chats, in the chat comments. And then what I want you to do is, you can just open that lead form and you're going to see that notification come through. And then I'm going to demo it for you right here too. So let me go ahead and demo that. So I'm going to put in Eric, which is my name. And let's see, gosh, which is my last name. Now I'm going to put in my phone number. Maybe the phone number is not a good idea. Let's put in a random phone number. All right, so I'm putting in a phone number there. And I'm gonna put in an email, Eric's email at gmail.com. And then I'm gonna put, I have a Tesla looking for window tint. So what we're gonna demo here is what happens when a customer uses your form to contact you, okay? Give me 1 second, I'm just getting this set up. I want to get this link in the chat for you guys so you can try this along with me. But all right, so while I get that link posted in there, I'm going to show you real quick what happens when I submit this right now. And when I hit submit, so I'm hitting submit, and then you can see that notification right there. So I'm getting a app notification that my lead was just like that. I got a lead in. So as the tint company, I was just notified that I got a lead in. And then from there in the app, you're also going to get a little notification up here, and you can see that Eric Devash put a new lead in here. And then from there, you can just hit view contact, and you can see my phone number, my email, how it was acquired, when it was acquired, via the contact page, the date, time, and then what the person was looking for. This, and now you can see I just got another one. So you can see these notifications come up as you all use that form that is now in the comments. Now another thing that you get is you can see I have 2 new emails. So you can see email as well, and then the email lets me know that I got a new lead in. It lets me know who the lead is from, and then I can go ahead and click into the app and view that lead. If you haven't set up your lead forms yet, I 1000% suggest this be the absolute first thing you do when you have the next minute to invest into your future. If you need any help adding the lead forms, we can do it for you. This is how you get in touch. In the menu, there's a support area. So we just got another one and you can see the leads are coming in as you guys are submitting them in the chat. And I'm going to show you also how to interact with that. So in the support area, all you do is you go click here on support. You can see there's a live chat right here. We're looking at the mobile version of the app. And if you click that live chat, you're going to see a chat window come up, and you can request us, you can request that we take care of this lead form for you. You can provide support in any way. We can do it for you and do it, like, help you integrate it on your website. We can help your website. We can do whatever you need. But getting this lead form on your website should be your #1 priority, because after that, you're going to see how quickly you're able to, quickly and effortlessly and accurately, you're able to respond to your customers. That quicker amount of time is going to make you more sales, because you're able to reply before they can even dial another customer. And if you work with a team, this allows for whoever is available to call as quickly, as they can. So whoever's available can take that lead and call them and then put notes in there. So I want to show you that too. And that's a great way to have whoever's available contact the leads first, instead of them building up in your email. Because if they build up your email and you're not calling them right away, you're probably going to miss out on some. And those percentage you miss out, you could be getting just by having this little system in place with a minimal investment, can save you so much time and help so much in a conversion. And it's one of those things you don't know unless you try it. And you can see here in the notifications, now we have 6 notifications. We have a new lead from Charlie, from Betsy, from Eric, and some test ones below that. And if I click in them, you can see I have a phone number, I have an email address, I have a name, and I can see the test right here, information. The other thing you can see is they show up in the new leads area. The reason being these are new leads that came in and don't have a project assigned yet. So you can go ahead and click in here. You can contact these leads. You can leave notes right here. You can create a project and so on. So that is that. Is, in my opinion, the absolute best bang for your buck in time and in efficiency. Once you do that, you're going to start populating stats on your dashboard of new leads coming in. Then you're going to know how many of them converted into sales and how many didn't. And you're going to have the information of the customers to do follow-ups. And you're going to be able to work as a team. And it's just, there's such a benefit. You're able to keep an eye on what's going on. You're able to look back. Like, it is such a valuable feature. I just wanted to spend today pointing it out. So I wish we would have left more time. We're at the hour and 42 mark. So I am going to check the comments one more time and then potentially wrap this one up. I definitely appreciate everybody who stuck with us for our 20th and longest Tint Wisdom ever. Our 21st Tint Wisdom is this upcoming Thursday. Again, we'll be meeting with, we'll have Marissa from ExoShield joining us. We'll be talking about their products, about their company culture, and bring your questions, because it is a social Q&A, which means I have my questions, but we definitely want to hear all of your questions. So I'm going to bounce out of here for now, and I will continue to check the comments tonight, tomorrow, and so on. If you're not watching this live, you can definitely always leave a comment. We always respond to any previous comments. So whether you're watching this live, cool. If you're not, cool too. And I really appreciate everybody for watching, everybody for joining in. Those who left comments, it means the world to me. And I am looking forward to, Thursday, and then next Tuesday, and then the following Thursday, and the next Tuesday. Andrew said you could help a lot more people in business than just this industry. I agree, but this industry has been so great to me over the last 5 years. I feel like it's such a tight-knit culture and family, and I feel like there's like a void in this industry. Like, there's definitely other people out there sharing great information. I try to mention everybody as much as possible. Matt, Patrick, Austin, like everybody, Mike Powell, Harry, like everybody, the manufacturer, everybody tries to put out videos and help as much as possible, and that's what I'm trying to do. But with that said, even with all everybody does, I feel like there's a void. There's room for more. So I love focusing on window film, and the intention is just to stick to window film. Tint Wiz is an app for window tinters. Yes, you can sell paint protection wraps, ceramic coatings. You can sell anything in it. It's flexible. So if you do roofs and windows, you can do that too. But the idea is really fine-tuning this app and the process for window tinters to take them all the way through lead to sale in the absolute best way for them, for efficiency, for scalability, for their customer satisfaction, and so on. And for that, it takes focus. So that's why we're 100% in window film, and Tint Wiz is a window film app for window tinters. And really looking forward to where this goes. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to cut this one off. You have about 15 minutes until Patrick goes live on YouTube. That's the Window Tinting Business YouTube. Thank you all for watching, and I can't wait till next week. See you then.